Hello everyone. Today we're talking about the number 137, which is the number by which existence exists. It's alpha in physics. It's the fine structure constant. It's the fundamental physical constant that quantifies the strength of the electromagnetic interaction between elementary charged particles, and by which heathen scientists are confounded. So you can sort of think of this as the chance of an electron absorbing a photon is about 1 in 137. This is Max Born, Nobel Prize theoretical physicist. It says, if alpha were bigger than it really is, we should not be able to distinguish matter from ether, which is also vacuum, free space, nothingness. It's another topic. Our task to disentangle the natural laws would be hopelessly difficult. The fact, however, that alpha has just its value, 1 over 137, is certainly no chance, but itself a law of nature. It's clear that the explanation of this number must be the central problem of natural philosophy. Now we have Wolfgang Pauli, also a very famous physicist. He got kind of obsessed with the number 137, so much so that he collaborated with the infamous Carl Jung in a quest to understand its significance. And Pauli died in room 137 at the Red Cross Hospital in Zurich. Richard Feynman, a little more recent, very famous physicist, notable for lots of things, but especially as quantum dynamics, said there's a most profound and beautiful question associated with the observed coupling constant. Immediately you would like to know where this number for coupling comes from. Is it related to pi, or perhaps to the base of natural logarithms? Nobody knows. It's one of the greatest mysteries of physics. A magic number that comes to us with no understanding by man. You might say the hand of God wrote that number, and we don't know how he pushed his pencil. He also said that it's been a mystery ever since it was discovered. All good theoretical physicists put this number on their wall and worry about it. It's both incredibly mysterious and unbelievably important. The seemingly random, dimensionless number, which nevertheless holds the secret to life itself. If it had any other value, life as we know it would be impossible, and yet we have no idea where it comes from. Not only life would be impossible, but even atoms would not exist if this number were just a little bit different. So in physics, a physical constant that is dimensionless, it means it's a pure number having no units attached, having a numerical value that is independent of whatever system of units you're using. So like gravity, that constant, that's meters per second squared, 9.81 or whatever. But if you're doing feet, it would be a totally different number. Feet per minute, different number again, because it has units with it, and they call those dimensions. But there are certain physical constants that have no dimensions, that are pure. So today we're mainly talking about alpha, 1 over 137. Also notably is pi, 3.14, and phi, or phi, which is the golden ratio, 1.618. So if we go to Exodus 3.14, that's where we see God answered Moses, I am who I am. So I hope you see how that relates to these dimensionless constants. They simply are what they are. Alright, so we see the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, and 137 also appear a lot. And so this is talking about the golden angle, which is 137.5. Let's see that 137 again. And what that does is it allows plants to most efficiently pack things in. So here with the sunflower seeds, If we just have it a little bit different, 136.5, get this spiral and then these basically straight lines coming out. Not very efficient. It's a little bit more at 138, it's even worse. The golden angle is the perfect number for this. Let me see that. It's 137.5. And you can also follow these spirals and you'll find their Fibonacci numbers. You might also recognize the flower of life symbol, though I don't know exactly about that symbol, but it's trying to represent the same thing. You get all these different curves and spirals, and it's the most efficient angle to pack things in. We also see it on the pineapple. We know how much they like their pineapples. We see it on plant leaves. So this is real important, not just for packing efficiency, but for getting sunlight. Because the leaves are on top of each other in a line, like we see here. Imagine these are stacked on top of each other. The first leaf's going to get light, and the rest are in the dark. Here it's the most efficient way to do that. So plants grow like that. See the Fibonacci numbers, 5, 8, 13. These things all sort of tie together. And whereas the heathen scientists cannot understand this number, we who believe in Jesus sure can. We know, listen, Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. We see the one root, the whole lampstand is one. There's this one in the middle from which all the others come. We know the three. There are three who bear record in heaven: the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. And these three are one. And also there are three who bear record on earth: the Spirit, the water, and the blood. And these three agree in one. I see three coming off on each side. Finally, the seven. There were 7 lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of God. You see that number a lot? 7 churches, 7 spirits, 7 lampstands, 7 angels, 7 eyes of God. So we see the 1, 3, 7 combination. Well, here's where things get a little conspiratorial. So everyone knows that 1 is a number. It's a real number. It's a natural number. And we know that a prime number is a number that's not a multiple of other numbers. So prime means first. So prime numbers are first of their kind. 4 is not a prime number because it's 2 and 2. 5 is a prime number because there's no other numbers that multiply any combination that give to 5. 1 is the first number. Except when it comes to prime numbers. Suddenly the mathematicians say that 1 is not a number. Of course, they also say, of course it's a number. It's a real number, it's a natural number. Oh, when it comes to primes, no, it's not a number. And this gets into another topic. Why do they do this? It's this sympathetic magic. By claiming that 1 isn't a prime number, they make the 33rd prime number to be 137. You know how much they love 33. So they can connect their number to God's number and draw power from it. So we'll talk a little bit about the sympathetic magic after this. The Fibonacci sequence, you see the first 7 here. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. So the 1, 3 is the 7th Fibonacci number. And if you were to do the actual real and prime numbers, including 1, you find once again that 13 is the 7th prime number, 137. And a little synchronicity here. I was looking into the Fibonacci sequence a little while back. This giant crane parked in front of my house. Mine is not the one with the porta potty. I'm on this side. right out my window where I could see plain as day the Fibonacci sequence. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21. Also, some other connections, but stick with that. And shout out to Paul Stobbs of Understanding Conspiracy. He brought this up. I first heard about it from Michael Heiser, the Sympathetic Magic. But Paul talks about it with the clowns. So it's also known as imitative magic. It's a type of magic based on imitation or correspondence. So I would only call it magic if you're doing it for magical purposes. But we also see just correspondence is based on the idea that one can influence something based on its relationship or resemblance to another thing. That's where Paul talks about how people clown themselves up and shamans and things to get that correspondence to the Nephilim, to get their spiritual power. And we actually see this in the Bible as well. Genesis 30, 37 to 39. This is when Jacob was leaving Laban and he wanted his wages. And he decided on the speckled and spotted sheep and goats. So Jacob, however, got some fresh shoots of poplar, almond, and plane trees. And he peeled white strips in them by laying bare the white core of the shoots. The shoots that he had peeled then set upright in the watering troughs where the animals came to drink, so that they would be in front of them. When the animals were in heat and they came to drink, the goats mated by the shoots, so they gave birth to streaked, speckled, and spotted young. I always wondered, what is this? What is this? Well, it's the same concept. Correspondence is why Jacob put speckled sticks by his breeding sheep to make speckled offspring and streaked offspring. So now we know why they are so obsessed with representing their symbols all the time, in every way and on every level. Yeah, it seems a bit excessive. But they have to do it for their magic. And I think this ties in with synchronicity as well. But that's still rather mysterious to me. There's this correspondence of things. So let me know if anyone has some insight into synchronicity, or any thoughts about how this all relates. Now there is, of course, more that can be said about 137, but these are the main points. God's signature is seen everywhere, through the three constants mentioned here, pi, phi, which is the golden ratio, and alpha. Though the heathen scientists cannot figure it out, we sure can. So here we see that same thing with the shell. Paul talks a little about this in Romans 1:18 through 22. The wrath of God is indeed being revealed from heaven against every impiety and wickedness of those who suppress the truth by their wickedness. For what can be known about God is evident to them, because God made it evident to them. Ever since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes of eternal power and divinity have been able to be understood and perceived in what he has made. As a result, they have no excuse. For although they knew God, they did not accord him glory as God or give him thanks. Instead, they became vain in their reasoning, and their senseless minds were darkened. While claiming to be wise, they became fools. We see these Nobel-winning physicists. Can't figure it out. That's all for today. Thank you everyone for subscribing to my channel and supporting the truth. And our community is truly a blessing to me and to others. And I thank God for it every day. So God bless and be with you all.